Hi, I'm Mark Ween. Welcome to Guitar Quick Tips number 1, open chords. Okay, the quick tips for open chords here. The biggest one is that your thumb needs to be centered behind your hand. Any of these open chords that I would normally play, an open chord being any of these chords where you've got open strings involved in them, and they're usually in the first or open position, you need your thumb centered behind the hand. If you've got the thumb back here, it makes it real difficult for your fingers to work on the front of the fretboard. It's also difficult to press with any kind of force. Whereas if you're going like this, you're a pair of pliers. It's a little bit easier to project force onto each string this way. You don't want to let fingers collapse. Like when you got finger joints like this. One of the biggest things that my students have problems with in the beginning is the idea that your ring finger shouldn't look like this. It should stay arched. When you have an arch, it gives you a couple bits of advantage. One of them is that you're playing straight down on one string. If you collapse it, chances are you're going to touch an adjoining string and mute it or kill the note off. The other thing that happens is that if you're pushing real hard, you kind of push the note out of tune. So you can take a perfectly in tune chord and play it so it sounds terrible, even if your guitar is in really good tune. So that's the first two things. Thumb centered, fingers arched. Right? Play on the fingertips as much as you can with these chords. Occasionally there'll be chords with the first finger where we're playing kind of on the side of it. But for right now, for the first batch of chords that you play, on the fingertips. If you can visualize the tip of the bone as much as possible, centered on there, that's cool. Occasionally, like with this G chord, I've got pretty big fingers. So I'm going to push, and I'm going to show you the indentations on my fingers. Right, I kind of catch them a little bit higher, and what that does is that if I was perfectly centered with this finger, it would block the string below. Right, so I just cheat it a little higher, and it gives me the clearance. Same thing with this finger, I can cheat it a little higher. It'll touch the bottom of the 6th string, but it'll clear the 4th string, which is open. Now, if you notice here, I've got a lot of space under the fretboard on this side of the hand. The hand itself is kind of angled away. It drops away from the fretboard. The reason for that is that if we had the whole thing up against the bottom, it'd be real difficult to curl our fingers around and actually play the notes that we want to play. So we open the hand up. It's almost like when we teach beginning piano students how to play it, we tell them, imagine you're holding a soap bubble. Right? You don't want to squeeze it. You can't hold it like this. If you've got it open like that, your hand is going to work naturally. Same thing on the guitar. It's just we have a little bit of an angle here that allows us to actually make the chord sound appropriately. You don't want to block any strings unless, like with my thumb over the top with this D chord, I'll touch it from the side to mute the string. All right, but we don't want to mute any notes that we're supposed to hear in all of this. All right, so that's what the space under the fretboard is all about right there. If you try and do it with the whole hand, it puts it at a weird angle. It makes it difficult. But if you've got this falling away from the fretboard like that, the D chord's easy. The G chord's easy. The C chord's a lot easier. We want to make sure that we hear everything. When you practice the chords, go through them one string at a time. Make sure that every note sounds. What happens a lot of times when we're playing a 5 or a 6 note chord is you might have a dead note and you won't recognize that, and you wonder why the chord doesn't sound so good. A big part of this is just making sure that everything we're supposed to hear gets heard. We're not muting anything. We're not deadening a note by not pushing hard enough. We're not pushing it out of tune, and we're not playing any open strings that don't belong in the chord. If I play this D chord, the 6th string and the 5th string don't belong in there. All right? We want to hear from the 4th string down. That gives us that sound.